What was your childhood like?
Bismillah, alhamdulillah. Thank you, sister Halabanani, by having me on your program.
Of course.
To get down right to it, it was a life that when I heard you making the intro, I was like, who's that guy you're talking about? So it's like
SubhanAllah, you can't relate to him anymore.
it seems like a different world. It feels
SubhanAllah.
like it's hard to even relate, but digging back into the memory cells, going back into the past, it's like it was someone that had no direction, had no purpose, lived for what people are living for, lived for just following, societal norms, peer pressure, fitting in, chasing the things that people chase at that young age, and that's what life was about. It was just living from Monday to Friday, weekends where everything took off, as many people know, and that just was a repetitive thing, and it just kept going for on year after year, and then you can fill in the blanks in between.
So you were living just to fulfill your desires, like many people are doing right now. And how did you start getting into trouble? I know that you started getting introduced to gangs. Where did that start, and what was the drive behind going into this?
This is a really important point here because it all started with one friend, one bad friend, and
Mm.
that is something that we can all take note from. A good friend you can have in your life, and you can get good results. A good friend can save you from a lot of hard times, troubles, and I got around one bad friend, and that person was the cool guy at the time, and I was looking to this person for companionship, and that person ended up going down the wrong path. I followed shortly after, and then I did what he did. Monkey see, monkey do. We're creatures of
Mm.
imitation, and I was imitating the bad friend, and then that led to more bad friends because that friend was a bad friend. He had bad friends. He didn't have the right influence, and then from there, I ended up following him the direction that he was going, and that was at a young age. Back in high school, that was high school. No, actually, that started with in elementary school in
Mm.
eighth grade, and then from there, it took off to high school. I followed this friend into to high school, and then from there we just it was just a slippery slope. It just kept getting worse and worse, and subhanallah, it was a nightmare when you look back. But then for some
Mm.
people it's kind of the norm. It's like for some people they, this is the kind of the excitement. They would think like this
Mm.
is just wow. It's what you got to go through, to become who you are. So I can take a lot of lessons from that, but um one thing that I really take is it was just getting around one bad friend that led
Mm.
to more bad friends, and from there was a recipe for disaster.
What an important point that you make as far as the friendship that we have. The Prophet ﷺ put a lot of emphasis about who we surround ourselves with, and you on the religion of your friend, and show me your friend and I'll show you who you are. And subhanAllah, so you're saying that one bad friend led you to gangs and led you to doing so many things. And I saw your documentary from Dunya to Deen, which said that you were willing to do anything to be accepted by this group. And so, what would your advice be to parents who are watching and who may be a bit oblivious about what they're doing, and they're just focusing on making ends meet? They're working, they're leaving their kids. What would your advice be to parents to avoid this kind of trial and tribulation?
Before I forget, so I don't forget about that part, another one, just adding on to what you were saying from that, that's what I think back to, the advice of the last and final messenger, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, talking
Sallallahu alaihi
about the
wasallam.
friends. And I used to think that that was cool. That was something that badges of honor. That was something like you watch these movies, Scarface, Godfather, and all
Mm.
that. And where I'm at now, I just think this is just so like, the term gets thrown around, hey, that's gangster, and people, they
Mm.
like that stuff. Young men love that. They love it.
Right.
And I just think this is just something, these are boys who grow up to be men who are full of insecurities. And that's what it was. I was insecure. I didn't have that confidence. And
Mm.
then what happens is you want to gain it and you want to fill it in the wrong way. So you end up going and getting into fights, and then people brag about you. Wow, he's so tough. He's so cool. And then what do you got? It's like, then you got to go
Mm.
against the next person and you get in another fight. and it's just stupidity upon stupidity. So that's the thing
Subhanallah.
for the young shabab, the young youth out there, is, having role models, having good role models that are with you, that can guide you away from this. And